Hello everyone. I wish you all a wonderful and peaceful day. Today we're going to spend another meaningful day with Trieu Duong and little Truc Lam on their quiet mountain farm. But something unusual happened last night. Strange footprints appeared near the chicken coop, and it seems a wild animal may have come close during the night. So today, Trieu Duong must act quickly to protect his flock. While carrying little Truc Lam on his back, he will gather wood from the forest and begin building a stronger chicken coop to keep the chickens safe from predators. Will he finish the new coop in time before night falls again? Let's follow Trieu Duong and Truc Lam and see how they solve this problem together. And if you enjoy stories about simple farm life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next videos. The morning begins quietly on the small farm where Trieu Duong and little Truc Lam live together. The sun has just begun to rise behind the mountains, and a soft, golden light slowly spreads across the yard. The air is cool and fresh, and the sound of birds singing in the distance fills the peaceful morning. Inside the small house, Trieu Duong gently prepares a bottle of warm milk for Truc Lam. The little girl has just woken up, and like every morning, the first thing he does is make sure she is comfortable and well fed. He carefully holds the bottle and helps her drink slowly. Truc Lam drinks the milk quietly in his arms. She looks around the room with curious eyes while the morning light shines through the doorway. On the farm, mornings always begin simply, but these quiet moments are very important for both father and daughter. After finishing the milk, Trieu Duong gently lifts Truc Lam onto his shoulder and softly pats her back to help her burp. He does this carefully and patiently, just like he has done many times before. After a few gentle pats, Truc Lam finally lets out a small burp and relaxes again. Trieu Duong smiles softly. Small moments like this always make him feel happy. Life on the farm is not always easy, but raising Truc Lam and watching her grow is the most meaningful part of his life. Soon after, he prepares to begin the work of the day. As usual, he carefully wraps Truc Lam onto his back using a cloth carrier. From that position, she can stay warm and comfortable while he moves around the farm. Truc Lam is already used to this routine. Being on her father's back allows her to see the world around her while staying close and safe. Once everything is ready, Trieu Duong steps outside into the morning sunlight. The chickens are already awake and wandering around the yard, scratching the soil and pecking at small insects. Some of them flap their wings and move excitedly as soon as they see him. One of the first tasks of the day is feeding the chickens. Near the side of the house, there are several banana trees growing well in the rich soil. Banana leaves and banana stems are useful food for chickens. Trieu Duong walks toward the banana patch and begins cutting some fresh banana stems with his knife. The thick green stems fall gently to the ground. After cutting several pieces, he carries them back toward the chicken yard and begins chopping them into smaller sections. The chickens immediately gather around, clucking loudly and waiting for their breakfast. As the pieces of banana stem scatter across the ground, the chickens rush forward to eat. They peck quickly and move around excitedly, clearly enjoying the fresh food. Meanwhile, Truc Lam rests quietly on her father's back. The gentle movements in the warm sunlight make her feel comfortable. Slowly, her eyes begin to close. Within a short time, she falls asleep peacefully, her small head leaning softly against Trieu Duong's back. Seeing her sleeping so calmly makes the morning feel even more peaceful. While the chickens continue eating, Trieu Duong walks around the yard to check everything as he normally does each day. Maintaining the farm requires constant attention. Fences, tools, and animal shelters all need to be checked regularly. When he approaches the chicken coop, something unusual catches his attention. The ground near the coop looks disturbed. The soil has several strange marks pressed into it, marks that were not there yesterday. Trieu Duong kneels down and looks closely. The shapes appear to be footprints. They are not from chickens, and they are not from any animals he keeps on the farm. The prints are larger and deeper, suggesting that something from the nearby forest may have approached during the night. He studies the marks carefully. It is possible that a wild animal passed by the coop while searching for food. The forest around the farm is home to many animals that become active after dark. Creatures like civets, foxes, or even wild dogs sometimes wander close to farms if they smell chickens. Even though the coop was not damaged, the presence of these tracks is a warning. If a predator comes again, the chickens could be in danger. Trieu Duong stands up and looks at the current chicken coop. It is simple and built quickly using basic materials. While it has worked well until now, it may not be strong enough to keep determined animals away. He thinks quietly for a moment. Protecting the chickens is important not only for the farm, but also for the future. The chickens provide eggs and sometimes food, and they are an important part of daily life here. After considering the situation, Trieu Duong makes a decision. Today he will build a new and stronger chicken coop. It will take time and effort, but it will give the chickens a safe place to rest at night. Truc Lam continues sleeping peacefully on his back as he begins preparing for the work ahead. First, he walks toward the small forest area near the farm, where bamboo and young trees grow naturally. The farm is surrounded by nature, which means many useful building materials are available nearby. He carefully selects several straight wooden poles that will be strong enough to serve as the main posts of the new coop. Using his axe, he begins cutting the wood. Each strike of the blade echoes softly through the quiet forest. The smell of fresh wood fills the air as the trees are cut and prepared. Even while working, Trieu Duong moves carefully so that Truc Lam remains comfortable on his back. Once several poles are cut, he gathers them together and carries them back toward the farm. This is only the first step. Building a strong chicken coop requires many materials: wooden posts for the frame, bamboo strips for the walls, and a solid roof to protect the chickens from rain and wind. When he returns to the yard, he places the wood down near the construction area and begins preparing the ground. Soon, the real work of building the new chicken coop will begin. With the wooden poles stacked beside the yard, Trieu Duong takes a moment to look at the area where the new chicken coop will stand. The old coop is still there, but the strange footprints he found earlier are still fresh in his mind. He wants to make sure the chickens will be safer tonight and every night after this. Truc Lam is still sleeping peacefully on his back. The gentle movement of walking and working seems to comfort her. Every now and then she shifts slightly, but she continues to rest quietly as her father prepares the materials. The first step is setting up the foundation. Trieu Duong picks up a shovel and begins digging holes in the ground where the main posts will stand. The soil in the yard is soft enough to dig, but firm enough to hold the wooden poles securely. He digs one hole, then another, spacing them carefully so the structure will be balanced. Each hole must be deep enough to keep the post stable when the wind blows or when animals try to push against the walls. After finishing the holes, he lifts the first wooden pole and places it into the ground. He adjusts the pole until it stands upright, then packs soil tightly around the base. Slowly, the first pillar becomes firmly fixed. One by one, he places the remaining wooden posts into the ground. Soon, 4 strong corner pillars are standing upright, marking the basic shape of the new coop. The chickens wander nearby as he works. Some of them scratch the dirt close to the holes, while others peck at insects moving through the soil. Occasionally, one chicken flaps its wings and jumps onto a nearby log, as if watching the construction. With the pillars in place, Trieu Duong begins connecting them with horizontal wooden beams. These beams will hold the entire structure together. Using nails and a hammer, he carefully fastens each beam across the posts. The sound of hammering echoes across the quiet farmyard. Every connection must be tight. If the frame is strong, the walls and roof will also be secure. Trieu Duong works slowly and carefully, checking each joint before moving to the next one. Truc Lam shifts slightly on his back but remains asleep. Her small head rests gently against his shoulder as he continues working. Once the main frame is finished, the structure begins to look like a real building. The skeleton of the chicken coop stands solidly in the yard, much stronger than the old one. But the walls are still missing. To build the walls, Trieu Duong gathers several long bamboo poles that he collected earlier. Bamboo is perfect for this kind of construction because it is strong yet flexible. Using a knife, he splits the bamboo into long, thin strips. Each pole separates naturally into several strong pieces. Soon, a small pile of bamboo strips grows beside him. These strips will be woven together to form the protective walls of the coupe. He begins weaving the bamboo across the wooden frame. One strip goes over a beam, the next goes under, creating a tight pattern. Slowly, the open sides of the frame begin to close. The weaving process requires patience. Each strip must be pulled tight so that there are no large gaps where small animals might enter. The chickens walk closer, curious about the movement of the bamboo strips. Some of them peck at the loose fibers on the ground. Above them, Truc Lam continues sleeping peacefully while her father works. After finishing the sidewalls, Trieu Duong moves on to the roof. The roof must protect the chickens from rain and wind during the night. He climbs carefully onto the frame and begins placing wooden bars across the top to support the roof structure. These bars act like rafters, forming the base where the bamboo roofing will sit. Once the support beams are in place, he lays more bamboo strips across them. The strips overlap slightly so that rainwater can run down the roof instead of entering the coupe. The process takes time, but gradually the roof begins to cover the entire structure. From a distance, the new chicken coop already looks much stronger and more secure than the old one. The sun has moved higher in the sky now, and the warmth of midday spreads across the farm. The mountains surrounding the land stand quietly in the distance, and a gentle breeze moves through the trees. Trieu Duong climbs down from the structure and steps back to examine his work. The frame is solid. The walls are tightly woven. The roof is firmly in place. The new coop is finally finished. The chickens slowly approach their new shelter, walking inside and exploring the fresh space. Some jump onto the wooden bars, while others scratch the ground inside the coop. It seems they are already comfortable in their new home. Trieu Duong smiles quietly. Finding those strange footprints earlier in the morning could have been worrying, but it also gave him the chance to improve the safety of the farm. With this stronger coop, the chickens will have better protection if wild animals wander close again. He gently adjusts the cloth holding Truc Lam on his back. She is still sleeping, peacefully, completely unaware of all the work that has been done while she rested. For Trieu Duong, moments like this are simple but meaningful. Life on the farm is not always easy. There are always problems to solve and work to do. But being able to care for the animals, build with his own hands, and raise Truc Lam in the quiet beauty of nature makes every effort worthwhile. As the afternoon breeze moves across the yard, the new chicken coop stands firmly under the sunlight, a safe shelter built with patience, hard work, and the quiet determination of a father protecting both his animals and his small family. After feeding baby Truc Lam with warm milk in the early morning, Trieu Duong gently pats her back until she burps and falls calm again. He then carries her on his back and walks outside to start the day's work. In the yard, he cuts fresh banana stems and feeds them to the chickens, while little Truc Lam peacefully falls asleep on his back. While checking around the chicken coop, Trieu Duong suddenly notices strange footprints in the soil. The marks look like they belong to a wild animal that may have approached the coop during the night. Realizing the chickens could be in danger, he decides to build a stronger chicken house. With Truc Lam still resting on his back, Trieu Duong goes into the nearby forest to cut wood and bamboo, then returns to build a safer coop to protect the flock from wild animals.